This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
There are now 2 deaths from coronavirus in Indiana. Tonight, we are learning more about those 2 local victims, plus the other COVID-19 cases the state has now confirmed.
We're not saying no to anything at this point. We're just going to try to figure it out.
Restaurants now closing their dining rooms because of the coronavirus outbreak. We will show you what to expect now if you don't want to cook and what these restaurants are doing to be in compliance with the new restrictions.
The COVID-19 pandemic is impacting child care providers, including home daycares. I'm Kara Kenny. Will tell you how it's impacting one in particular.
The Colts with another huge move, signing a new quarterback, and you definitely know the name. But first, here at 6 o'clock, breaking news at this hour. Governor Eric Holcomb has activated the Indiana National Guard in an effort to slow the spread of COVID-19. The governor says the National Guard will be on duty to assist as needed. What the Guard's exact duties would be are still unclear. But again, Governor Holcomb says they are a part of the effort to get coronavirus under control. A second confirmed death from coronavirus in Indiana.
And the State Department of Health says there are 6 new cases of the virus across the state. The Health Department says they have now confirmed 30 people with COVID-19 or coronavirus in Indiana. The new cases were 2 residents in each of Marion, Lake, and Franklin counties. The state also confirms the death of a Johnson County woman from coronavirus a day after the death of a Marion County woman was announced.
Tonight, we are learning more about the 2 people who have died from coronavirus in Indiana, and we now know they are both women. Today, health officials announced that the second death is a 91-year-old Johnson County woman who passed away at St. Francis Hospital South. And we now know the first person to die from coronavirus in Indiana was a woman in Marion County. She passed away yesterday. Her name is Roberta Shelton. Rafael Sanchez found out Shelton advocated for the families of Abby Williams and Libby German, the Delphi girls killed in 2017. Roberta Shelton hosted a concert and other awareness efforts to support the families and find the killer. Via FaceTime, Libby's grandmother expressed her condolences and appreciation for Shelton.
She was wonderful. She was a huge advocate for Abby and Libby. She helped keep the story out there. But not just for Abby and Libby. She was an advocate for anybody that needed it.
Roberta Shelton is remembered for being action-oriented and for her giving.
Travel and business restrictions went into place today in the city of Indianapolis. RTV6's Stephanie Wade talks with restaurants adjusting to this new normal and is looking into how or if the city is enforcing those tonight.
You can see there are very few cars parked along Massachusetts Avenue here in downtown Indianapolis. Very little foot traffic when often this part of town is crawling with people. But that's a good thing. That means people are abiding by the travel restrictions put in place by the mayor.
We're kind of operating blind, kind of like everybody else. There's no real handbook.
Mayor Joe Hogsett declared a local disaster emergency, limiting non-essential travel and closing bars, entertainment venues, and certain businesses like gyms and movie theaters starting today. The executive order coincides with Governor Holcomb's directives, canceling any gatherings with more than 50 people. But the mayor's office says there will be no enforcement actions associated with the travel advisory, only asking people minimize travel, except to and from work, in emergency situations, or to buy groceries and pick up food or prescriptions. When asked during Monday's press conference, the governor would not answer whether the state would be initiating penalties either if people don't abide by the restrictions, saying he understands restaurants and businesses will experience, quote, extreme hardship, but the guidelines in place will help stop the spread of the virus.
We're going to offer carryout. We're going to offer some limited delivery. I'm sitting here trying to figure out a map of how far we're going to go right now.
Owner of Irea's on College Avenue, adjusting to the new normal for the foreseeable future and saying he's concerned about his employees. Indy's independent restaurants sending the mayor this letter asking he institute emergency unemployment benefits for all hourly and salaried employees furloughed during this crisis, among other things.
So we probably employ about 25 between kitchen, bussers, and servers, and we're just going to try to offer the best that we can. We're going to start with the people that depend on this as their main income.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Restaurants are taking their concerns to the mayor tonight. They plan to meet with Mayor Hogsett this evening. We will be there and report back what comes out of that meeting right here on RTV6.
The coronavirus is prompting some states like Kentucky to order all daycares to close. That has not happened yet in Indiana, but many child care providers in our state are worried if their business will stay afloat. RTV6 reporter Kara Kenny joins us with what Indiana daycares are hearing now.
Amid this pandemic, many Hoosier workers are forced to stay home and having to pull their children out of childcare, which is terrifying if that's how you make money. Jamma Carson runs Little Squirts Home Daycare near 71st in Binford. She's been doing this for nearly 30 years.
I love my job. I started this so I could stay home with my own.
Amid coronavirus concerns, many parents are pulling their kids out because they're not working right now.
I have pretty awesome parents, and they're willing to still pay me partially. So that is going to help me tremendously. So, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. 8 weeks down the road, I don't know that people are going to want to pay me if this lasts this long.
Jamma is still worried about being able to keep her doors open, either because of a government shutdown or because of the impact on the workforce.
Yes, I have 2 girls that help me, and they're off this week. I gave them this week off just to see what's going to happen.
And what's your concern for them?
Well, same thing. I want to partially pay them. What are they going to do?
Jamma gets texts daily from the Indiana Family and Social Services Administration updating her, including encouraging good cleaning and hygiene. FSSA issued this guidance Tuesday, saying childcare should remain open and accept children unless a positive case of COVID-19 is identified within the childcare. For now, Jamma is taking extra precautions.
If I have to do that every day, that's a big job after work. So it took me probably an hour and a half to sanitize everything in just my one playroom.
She also greets her parents at the door, just like she did with us. In the short term, many parents are offering to pay even if their children aren't attending daycare. That takes care of the short term, but many providers are worried about the long term. Reporting in Indianapolis, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Thanks, Karen. FSSA also wants to remind people you need a license if you have more than 5 children that are not related to you. If you don't have a license and have more than 5 kids, then you could be operating illegally. You can find licensed care at childcarefinder.in.gov. And today, the 5 Catholic bishops of Indiana have suspended Mass at all Catholic churches in the state. The bishops put out a statement saying they are doing so to conform to the latest recommendations from health officials about limiting public gatherings to prevent the spread of coronavirus. The order covers all public Sunday and weekday Masses for the entire state. It remains in effect until further notice. And the general manager of Washington Square Mall tells RTV6 the mall is closing to shoppers due to the coronavirus outbreak. General Manager Keith Lee says that closure will take effect tomorrow.
Closures also include bars and nightclubs in the area, and restaurants are moving to a carry-out only model, as we reported. This has a major impact on people who work in the service industry, as many are now without work and without a paycheck. Today, RTV6's Megan Sanctorum spoke with the owner of one popular restaurant to see how he plans to help his employees through this tough time.
You'll see signs like this outside of restaurants in the area saying the dining room is closed, but carryout is still open. Local restaurant owners are trying to find ways to support their employees during this time. This is not what the inside of El Emporium on 86th and Allisonville usually looks like.
Well, it is a little scary and nerve-wracking.
But it will stay quiet for at least the next couple of weeks after Governor Holcomb ordered bars and restaurants to close their dining rooms.
You really just don't know what to expect, how long it's going to last, what all is it going to entail, and really what are you going to do for the next couple weeks.
But those are things bartender Natalie Perkins will not have to worry about after learning the owner here will still be paying kitchen and salaried staff their normal wages and paying tipped employees their average weekly rate.
We're all in this together, and we consider our employees part of our family. A lot of them work, they live paycheck to paycheck, they have rent to pay. it's not their fault, and we're fortunate enough to be able to do it for them.
He says he will also be providing staff and their families with one free meal per day.
They've all been really appreciative. We just thought it was the right thing to do.
Scott Bond says there are about 300 employees between the 3 locations, but he says he has the ability to do this for now and realizes his employees are what keeps his business running.
We kind of treat everybody like their family, and, again, without them, none of this would, work.
Providing a little bit of peace for employees during these uncertain times.
They're not going to let anyone, go without. They're going to do everything they can. They always have. They always will.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
And once again, Ale Emporium is open and doing curbside carryout from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. each day and 12 to 8 on Sundays. The city of Indianapolis is trying to make it easier for you to get carryout since the dining rooms at restaurants have closed because of COVID-19. Today, Mayor Joe Hogsett announced that the city will designate up to 2 parking meter spaces in front of any local restaurant that requests carryout parking only signage. The goal is to make it easier for you to pick up carryout since you are not able to dine in right now.
President Donald Trump wants the federal government to send checks to Americans in the next 2 weeks to try to ease the economic cost of the coronavirus outbreak. That is according to Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin. Today, Mnuchin said, quote, "The president has instructed we have to do this now," end quote. He did not give details except to say the amount should be significant and millionaires would not get it.
Tonight, one local county is encouraging some of their residents to file for an absentee ballot so they don't have to vote in person and risk exposure to coronavirus. Hamilton County Clerk Kathy Williams says older adults and those with serious chronic health conditions should vote absentee in May. You are eligible to vote absentee by mail if you are confined to your home, hospital, or nursing home due to illness. If you're caring for someone who is confined because of illness, or if you're age 65 years of age or older. New developments now. Amazon says that it will only accept shipments of cleaning equipment, medical supplies, and household goods from suppliers at its warehouses for the next 3 weeks. The company says this is all to fill an increasing demand for those items as more people stay home because of coronavirus. Amazon has been sold out of products like disinfecting wipes and toilet paper. The restrictions will last until April 5th. Coronavirus is spreading while we are still in cold and flu season, and they all have similar symptoms.
So we are working for you to get on to get down on the confusion. We're showing the difference in symptoms between coronavirus, the flu, and the cold. This chart from the Cleveland Clinic and CDC shows us some of those differences. With coronavirus, you could have a sore throat, cough, fever, body aches, and tiredness. With a cold, you won't usually have a fever. And the flu, you will have all of the same symptoms as coronavirus, except headaches and sneezing are often common with the flu. You don't typically find that in coronavirus.
There are some ways you can help protect yourself from coronavirus. The Centers for Disease Control says when you wash your hands with soap and water, wash and scrub for at least 20 seconds. If you don't have soap and water, use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Also, don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth, and stay home when you're sick. And clean and disinfect objects and surfaces frequently.
Self-distancing and isolating yourself can be hard on you mentally, so here are some tips from the American Psychological Association to keep your spirits up. Create and follow a daily routine and go to bed around the same time each night. Stay virtually connected with friends and family. Maintain a healthy lifestyle, eat well, get plenty of sleep and exercise. Just don't exercise with a group of people.
We've compiled everything you need to know about coronavirus in one easy-to-find place. Just go to theindychannel.com to find out what's happening as new developments come in rapidly all of the time.
And speaking of hand sanitizer, a little experiment with the kids. Next time you give them a little dab on their hands, not only have them rub it in, but wave their hands around and they'll feel pretty cool. Literally, it's the power of evaporation. We'll talk about the changes that are ahead the next 24 hours, rain to return. 1,500 for cab pickups.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Tornadoes can be destructive any time of day, but there's an added danger when tornadoes occur at night. A Northern Illinois University study found that between 1950 and 2005, nearly 33% of tornadoes that impacted Indiana happened at night. That study also found that nighttime tornadoes in the U.S. are nearly twice as likely to result in fatalities than tornadoes that happen during the day. Some of the reasons for that include that darkness makes seeing a tornado much more difficult. We are also more vulnerable while sleeping and likely unaware of the approaching danger. And finally, you can't rely on outdoor warning sirens to wake you up. They aren't designed to do that. That's why it's so important to have a device like a weather radio or the Storm Shield app. Both will alert you day or night when a severe weather watch or warning is issued for your location. The Storm Shield app is free to download on your mobile device.
And thank you, Kyle. We'll talk about the possibility of some severe storms Thursday, more likely late Thursday afternoon and then Thursday night into Friday morning. Very mild pattern for a few days. Our temperatures will push 70 degrees. That would be the warmest temperature so far of 2020, but it also brings a lot more moisture in, rain and thunderstorms. Look what happens, though, from our peak temperatures overnight Thursday into Friday morning. It's all downhill quickly to a much colder weekend, but sunshine will return. The change from today's weather to tomorrow, rain, and then we add the thunderstorms on Thursday, a few of which may be strong. Temperatures over the next few days, they'll jump into the upper 60s despite the fact that we have the rain and thunderstorms. Not constant. I think we'll see these in about 3 different waves or time periods. Then on Friday, we'll turn the corner and put it behind us. As far as the severe storm risk, right now we're in the marginal or low risk. That may change, though. One thing that could increase the threat for severe storms would be some sunshine, warming things up Thursday afternoon, provide a little more energy to the atmosphere. But right now, much of Indiana, at least with the low risk for severe storms, some of those may be nighttime storms, as Kyle alluded to. The threat there during the overnight hours, you'll need something to wake you up if there are warnings issued. As far as heavy rainfall, certainly some spots could see 2 to 3 inches by the time we get to Friday morning. Those will be determined exactly where the axis of heaviest rain will be. But despite that, all of central Indiana will have a good soaking rain. Again, 1 to 2 inches and then isolated higher amounts. During the day tomorrow, dry in the morning. See our rain chance increase as we go to the afternoon. Not expecting any severe weather threat tomorrow. Temperatures just keep climbing. We get to sunset and beyond, and our temperature won't change much. We'll stay in the 50s, 55 in the evening hours tomorrow. 1 o'clock tomorrow, there's your rain. Continues to push and will be fairly steady as it pushes into the eastern portion of the state. Still raining at 7 o'clock. Then that moves on. So that's a break that I'm talking about. During the day Thursday, it will return. Temperatures climb into the upper 60s, from mid-60s to the north to almost 70 degrees to the south. 7 a.m. Thursday, rain in the southern portion of the state. We wait. There's a push at 1 o'clock of rain, some thunderstorms in the afternoon. Then as we go into the late night and overnight, there's a severe weather potential. With that, a cluster of storms that moves through by Friday morning. After that, cooler temperatures, but sunshine returns. Saturday and Sunday, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures work their way into the middle 30s. Been a busy day in sports. Brad?
Tuesday saw the Colts making another big move in free agency. ESPN was the first to report Indy signing quarterback Phillip Rivers to a 1-year deal. It was long thought the 16-year NFL vet would end up with the Colts. Played his entire career with the Chargers, more than 59,000 passing yards, 397 career touchdowns. Reports have the deal worth $25 million. Clearly, the Colts are ready to go all in for success in 2020.
And the Red Cross is in urgent need of blood donors. IndyCar driver James Hinchcliffe. He knows the importance of the Red Cross, which is even bigger in these uncertain times. Dave First has more in tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight.
The Red Cross is flying the flag of help again, a sign the country needs blood. And among those first in the scene is IndyCar driver James Hinchcliffe.
If anyone knows the importance of something like this, it's you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hard to believe it's almost been 5 years now since this at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Hinch's accident during practice for the Indy 500. He lost 22 pints of blood, twice an average person's blood volume. An accident that nearly cost his life. So a splash of hand sanitizer and a temperature check is small stuff on a day like this.
Most of the blood that the Red Cross collects comes from drives at schools, high schools, universities, colleges, big businesses. Right. Obviously, all that shut down.
In fact, the statistics are more telling. Since the coronavirus outbreak, the Red Cross has lost more than 2,700 drives nationwide to the tune of some 87,000 pints of blood. They've never issued appeals like this. And with a visit from Joe Hogsett, what else could bring together the mayor of Indianapolis and the mayor of Hinchtown?
We put out the email or send him a text, and his right response is, you tell me where, wind me up, point me in the right direction, and I'm there. And I got to tell you, it's genuine.
These are strange times. It was just a few days ago an IndyCar season opener had the crews and support series ready to go before the St. Pete race was canceled. Doing what's right is the underlying theme for James.
The whole thing in St. Pete was very bizarre and very surreal, but obviously it's what has to be done. We're no different than any other organized sport or a lot of other situations that have been handled in the same way. But man, I just hope as a country, as a planet, we get a hold on this as quickly as possible, and then we can all kind of go back to normal living.
And for Hinch, it's all about giving back to a group that kept him alive, not to mention so many others.
If you don't have money to give, you've got blood to give. Everybody's got a little extra time on their hands right now, so really encouraging everybody to go redcrossblood.org, find a drive, and try and come out and donate.
Day first with that story tonight. Hinchcliffe has worked with the Red Cross ever since his accident in 2015, a bond that will never break. We've got one last check of the weather with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory up next.
Lease on Altima.
As you know, this is Severe Weather Awareness Week. There is no statewide tornado drill tomorrow. It's been canceled due to the coronavirus, so no statewide tornado drill. Tomorrow and Thursday, showers, thunderstorms return. Some of the rain may be heavy at times, but we do warm up. Temperatures all the way into the mid-50s during the day tomorrow. That's all for 6 News. World News with David Muir starts right now.